Now I'm up here in the mountains today where my mama and her family grew up, where they lived some of the time and where they picked apples when I was growing up. This is an Appalachian video today, and I'm going to share that with you. Right here's a beautiful thing to me, and it brings back a lot of memories. See them apples hanging on the tree? That's why apples mean more to me in fall than pumpkins. Look at them beautiful, beautiful apples. I got to talk to these fellas here at the apple orchard today. Found out some of them were distant kin. That's a common thing up in the mountains to find that out. And found out that some of them were distant kin to some of the other people that I know.
Look how big those apples are. They're like big as softballs right there.
They were talking about the changes made up here on the mountain and the things that's going on. And it was just good to visit and talk about them things today. Well, we're back from the orchards, and this is the bounty. I've already gave one of my friends that I picked up a box of apples for her today. I've already gave it to her. I got some stamen apples. Look at those beauties. And I also got some beautiful Golden Delicious. Now I'll have plenty of recipes that'll be coming up with these beautiful apples. There'll be plenty of recipes that I'll have to share. It's that time of the year. Now this is the apples that I picked up today. I got stamens. These are stamen apples. They're beautiful. I love the flavor of them, and they're a good cooking apple for me. And I also got some Golden Delicious. These Golden Delicious were just picked today. The stamens were picked today, and I picked up a box of Rome apples for my friend. She's already picked her apples up, and she's already got plenty of recipes planned. I also picked up this bag of Rome apples to cook. So I got plenty of fresh apples. They were all picked today from the orchard. They are as fresh as they possibly can be. They were fresh picked this morning. So I was glad to get those. And the orchard that I showed you in my video last year, Donald and I went to that orchard because those are friends of ours. And sadly, they are not opening their orchard today. They are not opening their orchard this year. And according to his grandson, that orchard may not ever open again by that family because, you know, the owner of that orchard is in close to 90, and so it's just more than he can run himself, and so that orchard won't be opening for the future. That was a sad thing for me to hear. That's the orchard that Mama picked when she was young, Mama and her family, and he had run that orchard for many years. His family had run it for many years. So it was a sad thing for me to hear today that that orchard would no longer be operating, and that they were planning to cut down those trees over there and not operate that orchard anymore. That was a very sad thing for me to hear today. But I did go to another orchard that Mom and them picked when they were young, and I was able to get those apples today, and they said they would be open for a few more weeks, and so I was glad to hear that and glad to get those apples. And then I went to another fruit stand that usually grows and sells their things there, and I enjoyed that time with them. I think I will probably try to film them the next time that I go back. And they were saying that on the mountain, all the orchards in that area were talking about they probably had another 5 years to operate. and then there wouldn't be any more orchards up there to go to. Now that's very sad for me to hear. I was saddened to hear that today, because that's a generational thing for me. My mother and her mother and father, my mother's family, they picked orchards, and that was what they did. They were like sharecroppers, but instead of a crop, it was harvesting and picking off of trees, apples, and other things, that were grown up there on the orchards and the farms. And it's just sad it saddens me to think that it'll no longer be that way. But things change, and I'll enjoy it as long as I can. And I told Donald we will have to get an apple tree. We'll have to plant apples. I don't think I've ever not had fresh apples, or not been able to get fresh apples. So that's important to me. So I'm sorry, I just ate one of these apples, so I probably have some in my teeth. But I wanted to share that with you about that sad news that I heard today, and a good thing. I have a good thing that happened today too. When we went to Fleming's Market, the fruit stand there that I enjoy going to, that we love to go to, and we've gone to for years, and bought pumpkins and apples and different things, I saw these hanging on the wall of their barn there. There was this kind, and then there was another kind that was just a sack. And I don't know if you remember when I was talking with Mama, and she was talking about picking apples. When they picked apples young, they had a sack, and they put their apples in that while they picked. When they were young, they just carried these apple bags. Now I'm going to try to show you one of the other kind. I didn't get a video of it today. I was just enjoying myself being up there with the people that I'm so familiar with, and the people that I love, that feel like going home, because of we all share the things in common that we do. So I was just enjoying the trip so much today that I didn't do a lot of filming up there. I just enjoyed myself and visited with those mountain people and listened to their stories and shared some of my own. And to all the new viewers that wanted to know the name of the channel and took that down so they could watch videos, hello. Please leave me a comment and let me know that you saw the video. I enjoyed meeting you and talking to you today. Enjoyed sharing stories with you. There's nothing like it to get together with people that are like you and your background, and being able to share stories and just have that good fellowship that we had up there today. Well, this was hanging on the side of the barn. Well, up there they only take cash, and me and Donald just took enough cash to get our apples today. I didn't think that I would see anything else that I would want. But when I saw those apple bags hanging on the side of the barn, I just wanted one. And I was telling Donald that, I wish we had got out more money, because I wanted one of these apple bags so bad, because this represents my mother's family, from where they're from and what they did for a living, and it just meant so much to me to see those bags, both kinds, this kind and the one that's just more like a sack that I'll try to show you in a later video. It just meant so much to me to see those that I wanted to have one. I'm going to hang it in my kitchen. I'm going to find a place for it, and I'm going to use it in there. But this apple picking bucket, professional apple picking bucket, look at it. It's been used. Somebody put it on their shoulders and picked apples all apple season after season, and I love it. I love this bucket, and I sure did appreciate being able to get it. And the thing about it is I didn't have the cash, and she said, take that bucket on and mail me a check. And I appreciated that so much. See, that's something you don't find this day and time, the trust that used to be among mountain people, the trust that was still there among us today. And I told her that I surely would bring her the money for this bucket. And I'm going to ride back up there tomorrow, because there's a few things I'd like to pick up. And so I will ride back up tomorrow and pay her for this apple picking bucket. And how this works is they would strap it on, and they would fill this bag full of apples, And then right here, you can unhook it on each side, and it's open, and you would just let the apples fall down into whatever bin you were putting them in as you picked them. So this was a true treasure for me today. It means so much to me. I don't even know how to express it, but my husband understood. He knew how much it meant to me. Now, his family were tobacco farmers. So he feels the same way about tobacco baskets, the row planters, the setters, tobacco setters that they use to plant the tobacco plants, and tobacco sticks. He even likes tobacco sticks. He likes all the things tobacco related raised in tobacco, because that's what his family did. And he can remember for as long as he can remember. When he was a little bitty fella, he used to run out there and work in the tobacco fields, and he would stay out there all day. And then the mothers that had little kids would put their little kids on a blanket beside the field and let the little kids play in little pens and things while they worked. And that's what those hardworking people did to raise tobacco. So my husband was raised in a tobacco farming family, and I was raised in the mountains with an apple orchard picking mother and their family. And then my dad was from the flatlands. He was up there from the same area, but not quite on top of a mountain like my mom. So that was a true experience today. It was a lot of fun going up there and meeting all those people and talking to them. Of course, I've been going to Fleming's Market for years and years now, but just to go up there and talk to them and share some stories and the kind of fellowship we had today, it really meant a lot to me. That is a great day to me. If I get to go to a place that I love and talk to people that I enjoy and that I relate to, and get that fresh produce and know all the good dishes that's going to come from that. They had fried apple pies in that little store. 88-year-old lady makes those fried apple pies, and let me tell you, they are authentic. And those pies were selling for $3.75. If you've watched my video on how to make authentic or how to make Appalachian fried pies, apple pies, then you know how much work that is. If you just watch that video, you'll get an idea of how much work it is to make those fried pies. And she was actually up there making them and selling those pies for $3.75. I think it was either 75 or 95. It was an amazing price for that much work. Isn't that something? She also offered other kind of pies as the season goes along. Now, Fleming's Market will be closing. They don't stay open all year because they don't have fresh produce to sell all year. But if you ever are in the Cana area and ask about Fleming's Market and let somebody direct you to that market, that's a place worth visiting. It's an awesome place. And they have a little antique shop in there, and it has some treasures. I may try to get some pictures of that if it's okay. I'm going to ask permission if it's okay for me to just get some pictures and show on the channel, because they have some authentic to the area things. I know there are pictures of Jesus and the Lord's Supper. And if you've been in my house, then you know, if you've watched my videos, that those are the kind of pictures that I love. And I do know where I get it, because growing up, here's my picture of Jesus I have here. I also have those on a log. My kids used to joke about me collecting Jesus on a log, but these old slivers of logs, I'm not sure, slivers, they would cut them off in slivers and then dry them out and then decoupage a picture like this onto those. Those were in most every house that I can remember growing up in. Every house had these kind of pictures. And this is a picture of the Lord's Supper. Now, I love this picture, not only because of what it represents, but I also love it because I grew up seeing these in everybody's kitchen and dining room. If they had a dining room, most of the time it was just a little kitchen. And I also love the artistic value of this painting. Oh my, it's amazing. So I'm honored to have a print of it hanging in my house, because I love this in more ways than I can tell you about. And I know in our house growing up, we always had these little dishes We had pictures of Jesus. Sometimes they were big square pictures. Back then you could buy them at Woolworths or any kind of drugstore or department store. They had these kind of pictures. And there were plates that they were reticulated around the edge, some of them, and some of them were just like a regular plate. But they also had all of these same pictures of Jesus and different things, events from the Bible. And they were like just porcelain plates that you hang on the wall. So we always had those growing up. I had a couple of those, and I think I accidentally donated them to charity when I was cleaning out. But I had a couple of those exact same plates that I grew up seeing hanging in my kitchen my whole life. They hang in there until I left home. So those are just like little things from your childhood that you remember. And as you get older, those kind of things, those memories come back to you. And it's amazing, what you treasure. But I saw some of those pictures hanging up in that store, the antique store part of the Fleming's Market. And I really enjoyed seeing those things that I saw when I was growing up in that area. Now, we didn't have a lot of fine things at all. We had a really bare bones raising. But I remember seeing the movie about Loretta Lynn's life. They made a movie about Loretta Lynn's life. And I thought, well, what was rough about that? That looked kind of like we grew up. I didn't really see why that was a hardship, because we grew up much that same way, heating with wood stoves and all the things that I share with you on this channel. But it was a great day to go up there and spend today. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, and I just wanted to share it with you, and share the apples, and just share the events of the day. My treasure that I got today that means so much to me. Just different things going on today. I feel like I have apple all in my teeth because I enjoyed one of those apples. I've got dinner in the oven, and I was having a little bit of apple before that dinner gets finished. And this is what I've got in the oven for dinner. These are stuffed acorn squash. They're stuffed with just a homemade cornbread dressing. And this is cornbread. It looks like it's got a lot of butter, but that won't be so much when I get it out and it cools off. And that's what we're having for supper tonight. And just when I walked away, this thing started beeping. Let me get this out and I'll show you how it looks. Now these are the stuffed acorn squash. I'll have to share this recipe with you on a different video. When I go back tomorrow to pay for the bag, I think I'm going to pick up a few more of these acorn squash and just have them on hand. They're good to store and they're delicious. But this stuffing inside is sausage, cornbread and sausage stuffing, and it's really delicious. So just look for that on my videos. I'm planning on sharing that recipe with you in an upcoming vlog day with you. And I'm going to go ahead and sign off here. Thank you for joining me today. I really enjoyed sharing all things with you, and there's more good things to come up in the videos. Got lots planned, a lot going on, and I'm so excited I can barely contain it. Thank you all for being here. Thank you to all the people that I met today, to all of you that's been here with my channel from the beginning and so faithfully support me. Thank you all. For the ones that said I inspire them, I appreciate that so much. There's no better compliment to me than that, because that's the reason you do it all. Thank you for joining me, and like always, until next time.